Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Lawrence. I am back with the final video for this week's work for Algebra Enrichment for the week of April 27th on linear equations. This week's work asked us to compare three different types of plans. It could have been from so it could have been cell phone plans, cable plans, car plans, or gym memberships, or anything else that you could think of that might charge a fee, a monthly fee or a yearly fee of some sort, and creating equations and then using those equations to compare costs. So for the example for you all, I chose to do mine on gym membership. So I had to go and do some research. And I came up with, and I found Workout Factory. It's a local 24-hour kind of gym that's near my house. It came up when I did a search. They offered three different plans within the gym, so I just used the Workout Factory. There was no need for me to include like LA Fitness or any other type of workout facility because this already had the three plans. I could have done like LA Fitness and maybe Gold's Gym or any other workout facility, but this just had the three, so I just stuck with this. They had three different various options I could have gone with. So after you do your research, so I had a couple people have already checked in. They did cell phones, there were some cars, whatever it was you chose. After you did that research, you needed to write and fill in these tables. So a brief scenario. So for like mine, one of the plans is a month-to-month plan, so I have to pay month-to-month, which is $35 a month, and an enrollment fee of $50. If I went with that plan, create those equations and fill in all of this information. So we went over this in video number 1. So if you're not sure, go back to watch video 1, and it explains how to do with the tables. So I did that for all three scenarios. Here they are. And then in video 2, I showed you how to graph your linear equation. So after we've created those equations, how to graph those points. And here they are. In video 2, I just did for the one plan. I didn't do all three, but here you are. You can see all three of them are graphed. And so now I have those graphs. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you today about part 4, which is analyzing your graphs to answer some questions. So analyzing your data to answer questions. Again, your answers are going to vary based on your scenarios. It's not going to be exactly the same as mine. It's going to be a little bit different. Okay. So we're just going to kind of like give a generalization of what your answers should include and look like, but not go into super specific or in detail because again, everyone's is going to be slightly different. So the first question is asking us, when do your plans charge the same amount, and explain. So explain, include how do you know. So if you think back to when we did this in class and you think about how would we figure out when they would be the same amount. So if I'm looking at the graphs, or even if you're looking at your tables, you can answer this question too. But if you're looking at the graphs, think about where would I want to look to see when they would be exactly the same. So hopefully, pause for you to think about for a second. But hopefully you came up with the idea that they would be the same amount if your lines ever cross and intersect at the same point. In my example, they never intersected. The costs were never exactly the same. There was not a point in time where it would cost me the same amount for, plan 1 and plan 2. Mine did not happen. So you may have, they will never be the same. Maybe yours will be the same. Maybe it's going to be the same. Maybe plan 1 and 2 will be the same at month 5, but then plan 2 and 3 it'll be the same at month 4 or whatever it is. But you're going to look for where are they crossing at the same, and it's going to be the same amount. Question 2 is asking us, when is the first plan a better choice? Explain. So think about if you're looking at your graph. So mine was this one here. Oh, let me pull this up. So my first plan is this line here, this the one that's kind of more to the left. That is my first plan. So it's asking, when is that plan a better choice? So for me, in my example, it's really never the better choice. It's always more expensive. So for me to choose plan 1, I would probably never choose it because it's always the more expensive choice going month to month. That's not going to be the case in your for your examples. Maybe it is the same, maybe it's not, probably not, but it's going to be a better choice. Maybe like, well, if I'm going to get the cell phone for only a few months, it's cheaper in plan 1. Or if I'm planning on having it long term, this plan is going to be the better option because it's going to save me money over time. Whatever the case is, you've got to think about which one is going to save you the most money over time. Same thing, that's Question 3 is kind of the same as question 2. Again, when is the second plan going to be the better choice? So for me, looking at this, plan 2 is a better choice. It's going to be cheaper than plan 1. So for me, plan 2 was a 6-month sign-up fee, so a 6-month enrollment, I should say, which is, they say, a new one for their workout facility. But if I'm going to do 6 months, it's going to be cheaper for me to do 6 months here. So I can see here, I don't know if it's coming up. Yep. So here's 6 months. It's going to cost me about $230 with plan 2, but if I do 6 months with the first plan, it's going to cost me $260. So I may have to commit with this plan to do the full 6 months for it to save me the most money. So if I know I'm going to do this long term, that would be a better choice. So for you, again, you're going to look for, when is it going to save you the most money? Question 4, discuss how your graphs helped you answer the questions above. So if you kind of replay what I just said, it kind of will help you answer that question. Again, you're looking for, I'm looking for when, like, the lowest points. So if I'm looking at this orange line in comparison to this top line here, I can see that this graph is a lot lower. This Y value is a lot lower. It's cheaper here than it is here. Question 5, what are other circumstances that might make a more expensive plan better, even though it costs more money? So that's going to depend on your situation and the circumstances that could arise, that maybe the expensive plan is better, even though it costs more money. I don't know. For me, for mine, the more expensive plan is the month-to-month plan. Maybe, I don't know, I move around a lot, so I don't want to commit to a 6-month plan or a yearly plan because I need to be paying month to month, because I don't know if in 4 months I'll still be living in the Cleveland area and I might be booking it to, like, I don't know, Chicago or LA or somewhere else. So for me, I should pay month to month because I don't want to get stuck having to pay something for 6 months and or a year if I'm not going to utilize it. I don't know, that's just something I'm making up. Again, you have to think about your situation and think about what might be a more beneficial thing. Question 6, describe any other relevant variables that would have to be considered to make an educated consumer choice. So when we're thinking about that, so, these are things that as you get older, you're almost, entering the adulthood, you need to think about which cell phone plan is better. Is it better to have, unlimited data, pay more money and have unlimited data? Is it not necessary? Am I going to join a gym? What are some factors that I need to think about if I'm going to join the gym? So things that you might want to think about when making that educated consumer choice, right? And then question 7 on the last page of this, determine which plan works best for you given your circumstances and all analyses above. Then choose or create a fictional person who would choose the other option. Write at least one complete and thorough paragraph of explanation for each person. So you had 3. This is only talking about 2. So think about which one would work best for you, and then you are going to create this fake person who's picking one of the other 2 plans. So maybe, like I just said, for me, I would go for month to month because I move around. I don't want to be locked into some plan. This is the better choice for me. But my fictional person named James. So maybe James is going to go with the annual membership because he knows that if he commits to a whole year and commit to that, he's more likely to go and use the gym because he really has some goals set for himself. So if he does this, he'll feel guilty if he doesn't go and use it because he's spent all this money, so he knows he's going to use it. So something like that. You're making up a person and a story about their life, okay? And if you choose to do the extension options, they are down here below. And then the project requirements. So again, all calculations should be done neatly and accurately. Show your steps and explanations whenever requested, and graphs should be properly labeled. Now, again, if you've done this on paper, you got it in the mail, you did it on paper, great. Just take a picture and send those pictures of your work to your teachers so that we can see it. So if you're in my class, I'll usually be sending it to me, or if you are with Miss Melendez and Miss Armenta, send it to them, and then, or you're doing the Google Doc. Either or. It's not you have to do the Google Doc. You don't have to do the paper. We're trying to give you guys options to make whatever fits best in what your situation at home. The most important thing is that we are seeing you stay engaged in work. It's going to come down to at the end of the the school year, we got all of May technically still, did this student show any type of engagement with their teacher, like reached out, trying to do work, trying to complete work? That's going to determine if you're going to pass or fail for quarter 4. And for some people, unfortunately, it also might mean that they may fail all of the semester because they did not get a passing grade in quarter 3. They got a failing grade in quarter 3. They've done absolutely nothing during this distance learning time. So please make sure you're staying engaged. Please make sure you are reaching out to your teachers. They're asking questions, showing emails, sending an email. That's showing engagement. Answering questions in Google Classroom. That's showing engagement. If we do a Google Hangout, logging in, joining, that's showing engagement. Whatever you can be doing to show engagement, that you are trying to do your best to learn, that's what we want to see for quarter 4 for getting a passing grade. Okay, so take care. So this was for the enrichment project for the week of April 27th. So over the weekend, CMSD will put out the work for the next week, for the week of May, May 4th. So for the week of May 4th, I haven't seen it yet. Once it is, I will start uploading videos. We will somehow put it in Google Classroom so you can do it electronically if that is better for you. So take care. Hope you're all doing well. Stay safe.